And thank you for taking the time to join us to study together, to discuss together the amazing lesson on adaptability um, in the cricket language, that is hitting a score or chasing a score. This chapter 21 of the book, First and Runs and Singles. I want to take a few moments to share with you, this important lesson that actually can help us really live into our full potential, help us to be successful, help us to thrive if we can learn and adjust our lives to the changing scenarios, changing culture in the world. So, allow me to share my screen here. And I will try to be as brief as possible. As you can see, I'm using the picture of a chameleon. Everybody knows that chameleons are uh, amazing reptiles that can adjust to their surroundings. Often not in our human context, it's to be a chameleon is not a good thing, but that's not the point here. The point here is its ability to adapt and change its color. Now, it does it for the sake of survival. Now, we are not doing it for survival. This is understanding adaptability for our personal life and our professional life, or your life as a coach, in how we can train the young people to become more adaptable to the changing world, not for survival, maybe for survival, but more importantly for growth into the full potential. So, how do we understand um, adaptability? Adaptability is the capacity to adjust, to become mentally flexible, first of all, willing to change, the willingness to change, the willingness to yield, so that we can accomplish our goals, so that we can be successful. Now, we must understand, as the US military analysts have said, the culture globally is a VUCA culture, VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. So we need to understand what it really means is the culture is constantly changing, and we have to find a way to adapt. Um, so we have to find a way to constantly adapt to the changing culture. And I'll talk about it in a few moments. So, how this can help you is to build resilience, to bounce back after experiencing failure or disappointment. You can bounce back and retain or regain some sense of normalcy, equilibrium. It helps to build teams. It builds team spirit when we are able to adapt and help people adapt to the changing situations. Um, and then finally, it generates innovation. When we allow for adaptability, we can change you know, a little bit of things, and then a new product is developed, or a new way of thinking is developed, or a new way of being is developed. So let me explain a little bit more about the VUCA culture. First of all, changes are happening, volatile, meaning there is a change, there is a political thing, and then the gas prices goes up. And when it goes up here, it goes up somewhere else. So that's the thing. It's quick changes. That's what it means. And so we need quick thinking. To think on the feet is going to be the important way to. So being mentally flexible to change. Okay. And the second thing is uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty because of quick changes. We don't, we cannot plan long strategic plans, because we have to make, because the information is coming back to us about the changes through media, social media. We have to adjust. We There is a lot of uncertainty of how it's going to go, and we have to live with that. That's all it means. It requires a vision of where you are taking, what you want to achieve. And then the third thing is complexity. So now that the globally connected world, as a globally connected world, there are changes that happening in Middle East happens here. It's complex. You cannot have just this is my way and this is what I'll do. I cannot do this. No, you got to find there is a lot of complexity. So we have to be able to step back and see the whole big picture so that we can make good decisions. We need a clearer, a broader understanding, not just a focused my world. No, no, this is a, this is a bigger world. Uh, and then finally, ambiguity is, you know, there is things are not clear, and this is because of the constant changes. We are not going to have all the information to make the decision. So in that time, we need clarity. We need clarity of vision. We need clarity of what we are supposed to do, and and then make it. And so that clarity is what people are looking for in leadership. Now, when it comes to cricket, we know a team that is must be prepared either to play first or play second. Toss is not really anymore the determining factor. We need how to set a score and how to chase a score. Sam calls it proactive and reactive adaptability. So when you think about it, proactive ability is being having the mental flexibility to expect changes and plan and create a plan and take action. So, and the second one is reactive is when you don't expect and changes happen and you got to adjust. So, for example, let me share this with you. You know, my wife and I started a bakery business and it was growing, it was thriving, and suddenly her hands failed. She had to do hand surgery. Immediately, within weeks, the whole business collapsed. $60,000 in debt. What do I need to do? Am I going to be depressed and live? Oh, no, I'm going to find a job. So here I was helping her, teaching in a college. Now I was forced to move from, we had to be flexible to move from Atlanta, leaving our two children here all the way to New Jersey to take a position in order, and when we went there, I had to make adjustments. I was in a American, predominantly white church with the single staff who was non-white. So I had to mentally make adjustments and adapt to the congregation and serve them, which I was able to do. And here's the reason why. We have lived in 5 different countries. We have moved 18 different times, homes. So we have learned what it means to be proactive and reactive. When I was growing up as a little child, I used to love Western things, Western music I used to listen, Western food I used to enjoy, Western way of dressing when my family was very traditionally Indian. I was like a black sheep in the family. But I was always proactive because I wanted to go to the West. See, this is how anticipating potential, what does it do? It builds resilience within us in our personal lives. We all go through adaptability at one point or other. Childhood to teenage to young person, young adulthood, and then from singleness, we decide to get married, we have to change. So most of us have gone through, and then you want to have a family. Now you have to learn the skills of being a father, learn the skills of being a husband, learning to give rather than take, share all these things, and then careers, moving, to a new city. All these teach us what it means to be. We are created for adaptability, flexibility, and the most difficult times is when we fail. How do we bounce back? How do we adapt to the new normal? Many of us learn are learning, and COVID taught us what it means to adapt to new normals. And that's going to be the trend all the way, in the future, with technology changing. So here is how we adopt a growth mindset. Always think of opportunities to adapt as an opportunity to grow. Embrace change. You cannot fight change. Change is inevitable. Change is constant. It's the future. It's the present, it's the future, and it'll always be. Why? We are a progressive culture. There is going to be more and fast. That's how we determine progress, and nobody can stop that. So learn from experience. Be prepared to fail, and as Sam says, all is not when we fail. We pick up from there, humble ourselves, learn from the thing, successes and failures, and then sometimes we win, sometimes we learn. Most often we learn only through failures, but we must be proactive in seeking learnings opportunities, seeking to learn artificial intelligence and the new apps that are coming out, learning new skills of working with other cultures, open to different cultures. These are things that mommy and daddy cannot teach you. We have to learn. Nobody is going to teach us. We have to take the initiative. Remember, all these are lessons from the book: initiative, flexibility, dependability, discernment. All these are talking about adaptability here. As leaders, as coaches, we must create the culture of adaptability. Nobody's going to do it for us. We're going to model this for the little children and make them more and more adaptable, especially in being human, because they're going to work with machines. Now you have to help them adapt to what does it mean to have personal relationship? What does it mean to have human relationship? Because they're constantly going to um, uh, they're constantly working with machines, phones, and other gadgets. So, create a culture of adaptability, inspire change, and encourage innovation, meaning ask them to, share new ideas and thoughts and include that in your coaching. So, finally, I want to leave you with how do we become more adaptable? I think the first thing I think is to practice awareness. This is where God gives us the ability to enlarge our vision, to see the big picture, not the narrow theology that we all have. We the Pentecostals are right, we the Baptists are right, we are not like the Catholics. No, that's poor thinking. That is such a poor it's a bad testimony. So here is what I would suggest: come as a human being and practice awareness of the Creator God who knows us all. And from Him, the God who says, I am, means today is a new day for change. Be born again, start new. That's all it means. There's nothing, religious or, process in that. It's the desire to change today. What should I change today? Am I going to be more loving, more kind, more gentle, more? All this comes, it cannot be produced in us except by becoming more aware of God. Once we become more aware of God, we will become more aware of ourselves and our emotions. Because if we don't take care of our emotions, the insults, the wounds, the trauma, all the things that are actually slowing us down or keeping us in a prison, with bitterness, unforgiveness, resentments, small people. We can't change. So that's why we come to God and say, God, change me, change my heart, oh Lord, and make it new. We get an ability to manage our emotions. And once we receive pain, comfort for our pain, we can offer comfort to others. We can be good coaches. We can be people who add value. We can be people who are life giving. So, my dear friends, there's nothing else except the simple thing of learning silence in a world full of noise that is saying, do this, do that, buy me this. You got to find yourself in God. Once you find yourself in God, you'll realize your potential lies here. Great capacity for this called neuroplasticity. Our brain has a great capacity to rewire itself. And it is proven research that says practicing awareness is a way to connect the right brain with the left brain so that we're not always critical thinkers. We're also learning new things. And all the neurons all over the brain it gets connected and lights up. We have a big vision, we have a big heart, and now we are ready to be a change in the world. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Thank you for joining us. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.